Hello everyone, and welcome to I Am Made of Robots. I'm Lincoln and I'm made of robots, and today's robot, I'm getting into some of the new Transformers with Transformers Age of Extinction Evasion Mode Optimus Prime. I could not pass this guy up. I really don't want to get any of the other Optimus Primes I've seen from this series. I have no problem with the vehicle mode. They updated the cab, whatever. That's no big deal. That doesn't bother me. But I've seen videos of how the transformation works out, and it just doesn't seem that great to me. It seems like a much smaller, simpler toy scaled up. And that really doesn't do it for me. But when I saw this guy, looking all 1980s and retro and stuff, I had to pick this guy up. You'll notice I have the gun stored on top of the cab because there's not really any good place to put it. It's a nice big gun, kind of. I mean, I like the look of it. You know, it's got some nice, it's got decent detailing and all that on it. You know, it's got ports on either side so that you can store it, not on him, but somewhere and have it look dumb. I'm not a big fan. I don't care. I mean, and for the frickin' price of this guy, I'm happy they gave you a weapon, because most of the box is kind of empty, and I feel like this guy was maybe $5 too much, but I understand that he falls into a certain range so that he gets priced and packaged a certain way. Yeah, there's the gun. There's 2 spots on the back, so you could stick it on there like that. Doesn't that look lovely? There's these side things so you could have half of it stick off. That's pretty cool. I just leave this sitting in a drawer. I don't care. Yeah, it's got a missile and it fires. I'm in my 30s. I don't really care about a firing missile. What I do care about is Evasion Mode Optimus Prime. I love this guy. At least aesthetically. Actually, no, I think I really like this guy overall. He's in this mode. I'm not giving too much away. You'll see, this is how you're going to see Optimus Prime when he first shows up in the movie. And it's kind of cool. It was really neat to see this. And he's doing this because he has to hide. I'm not going to say why or anything, but this is how he's hiding. Now, of course, in the movie, this has absolutely no color. Because I keep seeing him because I'm a Transformers fan, but man, Michael Bay needs to, put colors on his robots so you can tell who's who. They look like a bunch of tinfoil just flying around in a wind tunnel or something whenever there's a fight scene. And look at how vibrant these colors are. I mean, I hope it comes through on the camera well enough. This is a nice... I mean, it's a dark blue, but it's vibrant, and the red's nice and vibrant. It feels classic. It feels Transformer-y, you know? Wheels all roll. He rolls fine enough. So let's get into transformation. First thing we're going to do is fold down his little smoky stacks here. And I know this is a big kind of open, junky area, but hey, it's not that bad. So you fold these guys out. I'm not going to fold them out all the way because you'll need to do that to lock in a transformation thing. Where to go next? Go in here. See up under the grill. You can kind of see there's a little bit. Unfortunately, I recently cut my nails. So you can lift this section up out of the center. And he's in there. Hi, Optimus. How you doing? You're upside down, I know. Then we got to kind of, you can see these seams here. Oh, it's bad to do Transformer reviews right after cutting your nails. So you kind of just pop these out and loose. And you can reach in and pull this whole thing out. And you can see here and here are where it's tabbed in. Well, down here. Pull this thing out. You can do this now. You can do this later. It doesn't really matter. But there's this little section here in the middle you can see. You just flip that up. Probably guess where that's going to go. Next, we will flip let's flip these guys up a little bit. And then we'll flip the head around. And you want to straighten this up so that it's got the clearance to get past these guys. They have little tabs here that secure them into the roof that you'll have to get past, but it's no big deal. Kind of have them looking like this. Pull these as far this way as they'll go. Now here's something I noticed, and I wasn't sure what it was for, but I think it's to help with transformation. To give you a little more clearance, Prime's neck just moves a whole bunch, and it's really the only reason I can tell that this part is jointed. I mean, there's this little bit that flops up, and it's meant to move, but this is the only reason I can figure out why. And now, you're going to rotate these side panels here along this little hinge here, kind of inward, pulling this part out, and these will kind of rotate through the center, which is why you need to have this flipped around and stuff. So you're going to just, whoop. You might want to start pulling this forward a little bit, just to get past some little clearance down there, and then it flips around. I'll show you that over here. Just whoop. Pull this out a little bit to get past that clearance, and he flips up and around. Now I'm going to straighten the arms down so I can get these little tabs in, which I forget maybe a third of the time I transform them. And at this point, we have to straighten him out. So, there we go. All the other stuff, like pieces, won't fit, and it doesn't quite work until you flip them up. So we got this. We can pull this all the way around and flip this in here. Let me do that again on camera. So we had this kind of out here for the transformation. You flip it all the way around. That comes in and closes. You can also put Optimus's neck back in position. Though, I tend to bring it up and a little forward just so you can see a little bit of the neck detail underneath. And to kind of center his head a little bit more, and it helps with rotation, movement, and such. So, now we flip this guy up. Kind of open this up a little. Flip these around. And the tabs down here will tab into things on the sides of these panels. They tab in, and it doesn't quite hold well, but then you close these two up, and everything's kind of snugly in place. Yeah. His elbows are weird. That's an issue. Okay. Legs are Optimus Prime legs. You pull these apart, then you'll rotate these big chunks down and around, and the part where the foot is pegged in is up here, and that'll end up down at the bottom. I used to just flip them around, but I kind of got a little nervous of that, so I come in here and just pop the leg out. The heel of the foot tabs into this thing. But then once that's done, you can kind of just rotate this around while pulling the foot out, and it stays. It doesn't lock into place. If you keep pushing, it just keeps going and looks weird. So then we'll do that over here. I'm just going to pop this one. Or it's going to be difficult. So, we pop that. You kind of just like that. Foot was like this. And comes around to like this. And there we go. Let's... There are a few issues. See, you can pull this back a little. Not really. Alright, let's raise the camera up then. There's so many methods. So there he is. I like him. I really like the look of him overall. I mean, I think he looks good. He's a little thin for my taste, but he's from the Transformer movies. So I've come to expect a little slenderness from those guys. The elbows are weird. I mean, if you keep him partially rotated, then they line up with the arm, and they look great. And they look fine. Lead you forward a little bit, Optimus. We got arms go up that high, full 360. There's a little bit of ratchet in here, which is nice. You've got that. You've got bicep swivel to go all the way around. The legs, I like that they put in these movable tires. which are only really there so that you can get some high kicking poses out of Optimus. Hold on a sec. I want to see if I can balance him. So there. You can have Optimus high kicking a Decepticon if you want. You're not going to need it a lot, but it's nice to have. It's a good option in case you've come up with a weird dynamic pose. These little guys above the knees, you can pose them how you like. Knee bend's a bit more than 90 degrees, so that's nice. We got a fast swivel, which is a little tight, but totally works. You got an ankle swivel on this. They go forward and back as well. The wrists, the fists do rotate. They're just in there kind of tight. I think it might be just all the paint on them or something. So they're a little tough to get going. I usually can only rotate them if I stick like the gun in his hand to get them some leverage. So yeah, he's decently posable. Oh, he's got a waist swivel. You might be able to get 360 out of it. Maybe not. It's just kind of in there, so it's no big deal. This is something I like. I like that despite the fact that the actual feet form the trailer hitch, that they molded it in back here. You know, little things like that are nice. Now, about detail, I wish this guy had some more paint on him. Because really, the only paint is to cover up plastics that aren't the same color as a lot of the paint. So, like, his feet are gray plastic that they've entirely painted blue, which I just do not understand at all. I don't understand why they didn't just make them out of the same plastic as the legs and these little guys and these upper arms here. Those are, this are all blue plastic. So I don't know why they didn't use it for these guys. And the fists. The fists are also painted. I don't know what color they were. Oh wait, yeah, you can kind of see on the inside maybe a little bit that they're gray. Why didn't they just mold them in blue? If they molded them in blue, they might be not so tight and then wouldn't be a pain in the butt to move. That'd be nice. There's paint detail up here. That's because these are all clear plastic on these little panels. So they have to do that. This is all a gray piece, and then this is blue, or this painted red. These smokestacks on his shoulders here are just red. He has light piping. It works marginally, and it's not that bad. But aside from the face, there's not a lot of detail picked out on him or anything. There's not a lot of decals. There's not a lot of just little things that would make this guy so much better. I like the head sculpt. It's good enough. It's still weird to see Optimus with lips, but, you know, I'm used to it by now. But all these little things would make this stand out so much more. Like, hold on a sec. Let's flip this around. See this? See how this is all painted silver? This should be painted silver, too. This down here, the little footsteps to get up there. Those would look great, and I've never painted stuff before, but I think I want to start with this series of toys. I want to get in here and fill it up with just a little bit of tech detailing, maybe some like just silvery gunmetal dry brushing, something like that. Look at this, these just little panels that hang down with no color at all. Maybe put some little dabs of color in the tips of here for some light. Now, some of the things I'm saying I know are not going to happen on a mass-produced toy, but some of them some of these things they could have done. They could have done a little more paint-wise to make this guy really stand out. Also, I don't know what the heck this is for. He's got what is clearly a deliberate port in the back, but there is nothing that I could find to use it for. And there's one down here, too. Maybe it's for, like, the action figure stands you can get, but there's no mention of it in any of the books. I have a feeling maybe the Japanese version of this might have, like, a little frame somewhere on it that says, oh, hey, by the way, you can mount him on, like, your Tamashii stands or what have you. This certainly doesn't store any of those pegs. The only part of it that actually sticks is this little nubbin at the end. So I could have it stick clear out of his butt, which would look dumb. Or I could have it stick directly out from under his crotch, which is going to look just plain rude. So yeah, I'm guessing those are for mounting on a stand. I like him, though. I have complaints. The transformation, especially like getting the side panels here flipped around, was weird the first few times. Once I figured out how to move, that I could move the head around to kind of get myself a little extra clearance, that really helped. And I like him. He's a good, well, for me at least. I know a lot of people have had complaints, but I really like him. I think he's a nice little figure. He's the only Optimus Prime I want out of this entire movie series. And he's pretty decent. I'm just happy that he just looks, the classic red and blue is really nice, and his vehicle mode is the main reason I picked him up. I absolutely love the old school, 80s looking truck cab, big square one. That really did it for me, and that I'm supremely happy with. Transformation's pretty decent, posability's nice. He could use a little more paint, but other than that, he's pretty decent. The only major complaint is these weird elbows, but hey, that's a Transformer. You end up with little weird things sometimes, and if that's the weirdest thing on this, I can totally deal. So, this has been my review of Evasion Mode Optimus Prime. I've been Lincoln, and I am made of robots. I'll see you guys next time.